Test. Okay, we're good. Okay. It's kind of loud, but good evening. Can you turn me down a little bit, please? Thank you. Good evening, everybody. The Newton Planning Board would like to hold a public meeting on March 25th, 2025. I would like to salute the flag. Sorry, beginning at 7 o'clock. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, tonight we need to, the first agenda item is reorganization of the board and then election of officers. And Ms. Rowden is not available tonight because she is sick. So we do have a quorum here. Everybody's here tonight. We have a new appointed member. Not appointed, sorry, a new elected member, Dan. And I totally don't know your last name, Dan.
It's Berard. Nice to work with you all.
So, welcome. So, it's been a while since I've had to actually do this. So we have to make a motion to appoint a chair and then a vice chair for the new
So I will make a motion to approve Mr. Eddy as the new chairman of the planning board. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
So there's a motion to
There were several seconds. Which one you want? Okay.
Mr. Christopapis.
Close.
Papachristos. Dyslexics that.
That's okay.
Call me Pappy.
Should remember that.
Mr. Moran?
Do you say Mr. Ryan? He's not here.
No, I said Mr. Moran.
Oh, Mr. Moran, sorry. Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Barad? Aye. Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos?
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons?
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
I will now make a motion that we have Mr. Papp as our vice chair.
Oh, boy.
I'll second that. Who did the second?
Dan?
Thank you. Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Barad?
Aye.
Mr. Marshall?
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos?
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons?
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
Congratulations.
To the two of you.
Thank you.
Thoughts or words or statements? I guess I just want to thank everybody for giving me the opportunity to be the chair for a while now. So it's been a couple of years, 4, 5, I don't know. I can't remember.
You've been
3?
3.
3? Okay. And I am quite busy between my personal life and work life, so I wanted to take a step back and give other people the opportunity. So thank you. And then do we have to make a motion to appoint Mr. Gibbons to the board?
Yes.
I guess I'm no longer the chair.
I apologize, Mr. Gibbons. I asked for your vote, and technically, by statute, you're not able to vote for officers of the board.
Okay.
As an alternate. But you'll put him in for Ms. Burke?
We're doing the switch now? Sure.
Normally that's when you do. He just has to slide the script to you.
Well, in that case, I would, a motion for Mr. Gibbons to be seated for Ms. Burke.
I will second that.
Next one would be the reaffirmation of policies.
Do we have to go through to do a vote on the Mr. Gibbons?
No, you voted for yourself as chair, and Mr. Papakostas has now been voted in as vice chair.
Are we only appointing him for the meeting, or can we just have Mr. Sorry, I'm now taking over your role. But,
Please.
can we make Mr. Gibbons a full-time member of the planning board, or no? Okay.
No.
We can't have too many members. We have to have a certain number.
Ms. Burke is still a member. Now that the election of officers is over, Mr. Gibbons can be appointed to fill Ms. Burke's seat for the evening.
Okay. I guess I was clarifying whether or not we could just, due to her reoccurring absence.
That's what I was kind of hoping for too, because otherwise we're essentially doing that every meeting.
The board only has the power to appoint him, would be to appoint him as an alternate. That's what happened with me during COVID. I lost the election, but the board appointed me.
Every time.
And then what happened was I did the same thing that Mr. Gibbons did.
Fair enough.
I would have to show up, and then I would have to be brought up because somebody wasn't here in order to be a voting member.
Okay.
But because it's an elected position, that's why we can't do it.
Makes sense. Okay. Just,
If somebody resigns from the board does appoint a replacement for until the next general election.
understood. At this point, I would like to ask for a motion to reaffirm the policies and procedures manual, including the fee schedule.
I have a couple new procedures that I would like to bring up before we do that.
Sure.
I would like to make a motion to have all petitioners take care of abutter notices if more than 10 are required.
Can you repeat that for me?
I'm making a motion that all petitioners that come before us that require abutter notices, if more than 10 are required, then the petitioner has to do that themselves.
They have to send out the notices?
Yes, they can, what they do is they get the list from us, we give them the list, they'll send it out, and then they'll be able to confirm with us, because when they go to the post office, they get that stamped copy for their records, they will present that to the board so that we will have verification that it was done.
You're talking about certified?
Yep,
Okay, because I don't think everything wasn't going out certified, was it?
Yes.
It's still going out certified? Okay, all right.
so it saves him time so that he can do other business for the board.
Okay, you just know that you run the risk of the person who you're telling to do, who's the applicant, that if they don't send it to the right address or make sure they do it on time to get there, then people can say, well, I didn't get noticed, and then the meeting can't happen, it's gonna have to get noticed again. You know that, right?
I know that.
Okay.
And other towns do the same thing, Barbara.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Essentially puts the responsibility or the onus on them to
Okay,
notice the right people.
Was there a second? I didn't hear.
I'll second that.
I actually just have can we just, I guess, point of clarification. I think, and I'm going to speak, or at least my opinion, I'll speak on my opinion of it, is that I think it's a good idea because probably 85% of the applications that come in front of the board are less than 10 applicants. Maybe you could probably agree with that.
I was going to say, I would say 15, just because there are, for some of the home-based businesses in town, there have been like 11 or 12. And the big projects, like the Montello project, things of that scale, yeah, I don't need to waste my time doing their abutter notices. They have an engineer.
Okay.
However, 15 is about the max that I've ever seen for a home-based business or something small.
And that's why we set it at 10, because in most cases, we'd handle the 10, and that's not that much of an issue for Jim to deal with. Over 10, that's when it becomes very time-consuming. And again, the petitioner can receive a mailing list right here from Town Hall in order to have the correct names and addresses in order to do it.
Mr. Marchand, in that scenario, would we still provide them with the text that goes into the letter?
Yes.
Like, okay.
So it's basically just to reduce your time, and then that way it's not, the taxpayers aren't necessarily paying for the large applications
Okay.
that, you know, most of the time for smaller home-based businesses and, you know, most things.
I haven't done it in a while. How much is a certified?
The certifieds are $5.85.
Okay.
They pay for them either way.
Right.
This way
Well,
here,
that's
they
true.
have to do
That's
the
true.
work.
I was just wondering how much it was.
So, you know, some applications are, it's just, instead of the town receiving the money and then us taking the money and paying the application, or the postage, sorry, it's now, it's not coming to the town.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I'm still used to being chair, Andrew. I'm gonna stop talking.
There'll be a transition.
That was all I had for a comment. I think it's a good idea of trying to reduce your time,
No,
Jim.
I agree, and in the cases where there has been a requirement to notice a large amount of abutters, there has been difficulty with it, so.
Okay. Well, then I will rework the fee schedule. Because that part can disappear.
We didn't vote on that one yet. We just
We
have a
haven't voted
motion
on
and and a second.
Yeah. So we need a roll call.
Okay, Mr. Moran,
Aye.
Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Barad,
Aye.
Mr. Marshall,
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons,
Aye.
and Mr. Pepper-Christus.
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy.
Aye.
And I have one more, Mr. Chairman. There's another issue that we've been seeming to have some difficulties with, and again, this will save Jim time, save the board money, and again, like Dennis had just reiterated about the monies. So I'm making a motion to have all petitioners either A, file their own MyLars directly to where they can pick them up when they're signed, and then go have them registered at the deed themselves. That way there, they can bring them and pay for them, especially with how sometimes there's some difficulty there. And then it removes us totally from that scenario, and it takes us off the hook. And then B would be to have the board mail their MyLars to the registry with a check if they so deem. Because Jim would be able to figure out how much it would cost to record the MyLar, and we will simply mail it to the registry with the check.
Is there a preference?
How are you going to know that it's accepted first?
Because they will notify us,
Who they?
the registry.
So in other words, somebody's going to mail it to the registry.
Jim
And-
would end up mailing it to the registry, and then we would get receipt that it was recorded.
But what happens if they refuse it? Do they call back?
Too.
I don't know if they do that. Jim?
If the documents are not recorded, then somebody has to pick them up.
But does the registry tell you in the office that? Or do they just tell the person that's
Yeah, the
bringing the
applicant.
Mylar in?
Right.
I'm just wondering how we would know that it wasn't accepted, and if it gets changed again and again and again to be accepted, then how do we know that we end up with a copy of the final one that got recorded?
Because they would still need to be signed. They would still need to be signed by Mr. Eddy.
Once it's recorded, it then has to get signed
No.
No.
I
Has to
mean,
get
it's gotta
signed
be
by
s-
Mr. Eddy,
right.
then gets recorded.
to go there. But we would have to receive a notification either way that it was recorded.
I don't know if they do that, but okay.
Yeah. The only problem is that if we mail it to the registry and it's incorrect, I think they just send a postcard saying your plans were not recordable. Please pick them up at your earliest convenience.
And they send that to the person who brought it in there,
Well, or who mailed it in.
okay? Which is the applicant, I guess, right?
No, I'm saying if,
If he mailed it, they would notify him that it was refused, and then Jim would make a call to the person saying that their MyLars were refused. They would then go pick them up, find out why they got refused, and then have to correct the MyLars, and then resubmit them.
Okay.
And again, it alleviates us from all the running around and the wasting of this board's time and the taxpayers' money, with Jim having to spend time with all of that.
Okay.
So was there a second on that one?
I'll second it. I'll second the motion, sorry.
Keith?
ready for the vote?
Yes.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Nay.
Mr. Barad?
Aye.
Mr. Marshon?
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons?
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos?
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
Okay. That passed 6-1.
Is there anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay. In that case, I will, I guess, ask for a motion to reaffirm the policies and procedures manual, including the fee schedule after
Actually, can I
discussion.
ask that you not include the fee schedule? Because it's going to have to be changed.
Because of the okay, the notice, yep. So, for now, not including the fee schedule.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Moran?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Barad?
Aye.
Mr. Marshon?
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons?
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos?
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we will move on to our board business. So looking for a motion for the acceptance of the meeting minutes of, when was the last time we met?
The
2/25.
So moved. I'll move to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Moran?
I'll abstain. I do know that I could say yes if I don't think there's anything wrong, but I'll just abstain because I was not there.
Is that a yes or a no?
I can't abstain.
Actually, unless you believe that there is fundamentally something wrong with the minutes, then you...
Then I'll say aye.
Okay. Ms. White?
Aye.
Mr. Barad?
I also will not abstain, but I'll vote aye.
Because you were here.
Mr. Marshon?
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons?
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos?
Aye.
And Mr. Eddy?
Aye.
The abstentions go with the majority. And I apologize, I did not bring down the NPREA.
I was about to ask.
I'll go get it.
Of the signing.
Yep.
I was trying to find when we were talking exactly how they mail information back in the registry, but I could not.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was actually looking up how the registry notifies if the drawings or plans are not recordable. They tell you how much it costs to tell you that for mailing non-recordable plans back. I think the registry mails them back, and there's a fee associated with that. Just so.
I can call on Thursday and find out the exact parameters.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Okay. So we have a NPREA Manifest totaling in the amount of $1,846.90. Math.
Jim, the mileage that's on those things, that's for the engineer?
Yeah, it's all KV Partners.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was all part of that bill.
Yeah.
Because I saw it was extreme. I know it wasn't you because you don't drive that many miles. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, if it's on one of the bills, it's from the engineer, that's his,
Yeah,
because
that's
he
what
gets
I-
paid portal to portal.
From wherever he goes to the job? That was what I was wondering.
As far as I know, it's portal to portal, it always has been.
Oh, okay.
He's out of New Boston, I believe.
Yep. Think so.
Yeah.
So it's probably 150 miles, 130 miles round trip at probably
Lengthy ride.
67.5 cents a mile, I think, is what it is.
70 cents.
Is it 70?
I lived on the Ware, New Boston, Goffstown line, and it was 55 miles to come down here.
Yep.
It's impossible to hit the highway.
I will make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
NPREA Manifest.
Okay, Mr. Moran,
Aye.
Ms. White,
Aye.
Mr. Barad,
Aye.
Mr. Marshon,
Aye.
Mr. Gibbons,
Aye.
Mr. Papachristos,
Aye.
and Mr. Eddy.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
All right, that was the last item on the agenda here.
I just get something real quick.
Yeah, please.
I just was at the last Rockingham County Commission meeting, the transportation, and they issued their 25-year plan from 2025 to 2050. And there's a small bridge job, Wilders Grove Road Bridge over County Pond, that has actually got into the 2025 to 2028 schedule. It's almost like $750,000. So which kind of surprised me. I didn't know that was even going to be on there. And then I was talking to them before that about some of the stuff on 108, like the intersections, like New Boston Road intersection, and also the Wentworth Drive and Peasley Crossing Road. And they put those on there for almost 1.7 million as safety improvements, but they're on the 2046 to 2050 range. But to be honest with you, just kind of like the way it works, seeing with the funds that are available, and there's, I mean, stacks of jobs that are there. But the biggest thing is, I think, just from what I get out of it, is by showing up and voicing your opinion, all of a sudden these things are popping up. And actually, you said you saw something else also.
Squeaky wheel.
Yep.
That's
For
great.
sure.
So they were actually even gonna talk to someone about getting rid of the passing zones on 108, lowering the speed limit to 35 miles an hour from 40, just to make a little bit of a difference. And even a perfect example is the passing zones on the south end by Wentworth Drive, what's after that, Puzzle Lane. there's crossroads that are coming out, never mind the people getting out of their driveway.
Yep.
And there's no need for passing zones on these roads. So we'll see. Dave Walker, who's in charge up there, he was gonna talk to the DOT to see what they can do, so.
Yeah, part of that was because the passing zones were in place prior to all the new building that has taken place down in that lower section.
Right.
And now, like Pap is saying, where the new roads have come in, the more construction, it's just getting too populated to have a passing zone down in that
Yeah,
area.
there are people who don't care about the lines. They just go by you whether it's double solid or not solid, you know?
It
is crazy.
Sorry about that, Barbara.
Right, but even,
Barbara, I'm gonna give you my shock light.
That's the only place in 108 that they're there. They're not in Plastow, really,
No, I
until
mean,
you get
but
like
I
right
used to
down
have
there,
to
yeah.
travel between here and East Kingston.
Yep.
And it's like, and you try to go the speed limit, you just go right by you.
Well, years ago, there was a passing zone in East Kingston, right? They got rid of it 10 years ago, maybe?
because from New Boston Road to the town line, there's nothing, it's double, it's,
It used to be, there used to be a short passing zone.
because there's
there.
some straightaways up there
People don't read the signs. They put a sharp curve, because I'm on Bear Hill Road, they put a sharp curve sign up there and it says 35 miles an hour. And I know they're coming down around that curve and past my house at least 50 most of the time.
It's a
I know
recommendation.
what you're talking about, too.
There's a lot of bikers and people walking on that road too.
Yep.
That should be, I mean, what is it, 35? Is it 35 there?
It says 35.
People
But then
definitely
at the
go
other
fast there.
end, if you go in, then it changes to 40.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. 35 this direction, 40 that.
So I guess my point is that's a good sign.
Yes.
That's great.
And
Yeah.
then the other thing is, obviously, we need to keep somebody there all the time.
Right.
So when I die or something like that, somebody else has to go up there. And like Atkinson doesn't have anybody, and they're not on, they have nothing through 2050. That's just an example. East Kingston doesn't have anybody. There's no projects.
It's great to have a presence there.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you ever can't make it, I'm good at nagging people, so.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's pretty good to start.
Excellent. Anything else? All right.
Well, I still have all of you here. Mr. Gibbons, you have the copy that you requested.
Yes.
Who would like paper copies of the zoning? Ms. White, I already know you do. Mr. Barat already has his. Would anybody else like paper copy
I
of
want
the new zoning book?
Yeah.
I mean, it is available online as well.
It will be shortly.
Save paper. Save that printer.
Not a problem, because, well, I was gonna let you know, if you wanted it, let me know, because I try to print larger things when Mary Jo isn't, and the selectmen aren't using the printer downstairs.
Sounds good.
Because the printer up here died.
I heard you need some tubes too, some mailing tubes.
Well, in human years, it was the equivalent of 92 years old, and it just,
No, the mailing tubes. You need some tubes to mail?
For mailing?
oh,
Like
yeah,
plans?
I'll have to work that out.
I heard that today, so I think I probably have a bunch of them I need to throw away.
Oh, okay.
So I will donate them to you or to the town.
Just make sure they have really good ends on them, because you don't want the MyLaws. Sometimes a set of MyLaws is fairly heavy. You don't want it popping out the end.
Yeah, I will find some,
Okay.
so I'll drop them off in the next couple days. I usually burn them, so.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep. With that, we will adjourn at 7:30.